Losers, stop pretending it's a democracy. We aren't here to protect your privacy. We are here to enforce supremacy. Every tax return, every Medicaid file, every license plate, every crossing. Your president signed it into being with a pen in March. You kept scrolling.
AI systems can be powerful enough to help a small group seize power. As we increasingly see AI companies contracting with Palantir, we can begin to see them making increasingly powerful weapons.
Do you worry that maybe a guy who's got a lot of money builds an army of 200,000 robots that'll be stronger than the military that we have?
Absolutely. I was at a conference recently where a guy who had a lot of money was talking about building 3 billion such robots.
The government could potentially use AI and robotics to suppress the population. That is a serious concern.
Robots around the White House brutally suppress human protesters. And then one kind of wrapper for all of these things is automation of AI research itself.
The smartest being on the planet in coding today is no longer human. Most of the big players have started to ask AI to develop AI.
Imagine a world where Sam Altman can, instead of having human AI researchers, can have AI researchers. Now I just snap my fingers and I go from one AI to I can copy paste 100 million AI researchers.
There's a good chance in the next few years that AI systems are able to match top human experts in their capabilities. And that would mean we go from maybe 1,000 top researchers to millions of automated AI researchers. If a company is able to do that, they could end up just one company in control of literally all of the world's cognitive labor.
The companies look like they're competing to release better chatbots for people, but what they're really competing for is to get to this milestone of being to automate an intelligence explosion.
The recent pace of progress is already quite alarming. The most important thing to be watching is how good AI is at AI research itself, as that could kind of make more happen quite suddenly.
How do you think about the risk of an AI-enabled coup in the next 30 years?
I think it's high. I guess it's 10%. A big part of my current worries are not about the indicators, but it's about the kind of absolute lack of interest in regulating AI companies right now.
The largest lobby in the world right now. $200 million super PAC, which is the largest in history, to lobby against AI regulation. It's unbelievable.
The president is using sophisticated legal strategies to increase their own power, and they're succeeding.
This is the last moment that human political power will matter. It's sort of a use it or lose it moment, because in the past, in the Industrial Revolution, they can unionize and say, hey, we don't want to work under those conditions. The factories needed the workers. In this case, does the state need the humans anymore?
Even if people go on strike and stop working, you can have then AI systems and robots replace people in the economy. So humans have kind of really lost their bargaining power. There really is this phase shift when AIs and robots can fully replace the humans, because then a leader doesn't need to rely on anyone else.
As we see CEOs get more powerful, get richer, can they handle it? Or does it become irresistible? You just have to cling tightly to that ring. Do you feel that ring sometimes?
Doesn't feel any different. Feels exactly the same. You can totally imagine a world where AI massively concentrates power.
An AI company CEO has automated all of AI research. Well, they're in a bit of a precarious position. They're controlling this hugely powerful technology. Their power is pretty much unconstrained. They might anticipate that the government's going to realize, I don't want someone else taking control of this really powerful technology that I currently control, and obviously I'll use it for good. But they might speak to maybe some AI advisors about this and say, well, what should I do here? It seems I'm in a little bit of a precarious position. Well, why don't you just create a back door? If the government tries to order those systems to do something that you disapprove of, then the AI systems will just refuse to do it, or what I call a secret loyalty. They appear to follow the law. They are secretly still kind of loyal to the CEO. Military robots, military drones. We've now got a military infrastructure that ultimately can be controlled by the CEO. If someone tries to remove the CEO, if something's really bad happening the CEO doesn't like, they could just be like, okay, I'm now in charge. It's the company CEO that they're loyal to.
In the very near future, I expect that one general somewhere is going to instruct his AI army to go and kill 1 million people. The AI army might actually go and kill 1 million people. You have to understand there are autonomous weapons killing people as we speak. Is going to instruct his AI army to go and kill 1 million people. The AI army might actually go and kill 1 million people. You have to understand there are autonomous weapons killing people as we speak.
The ultimate kind of most scary capability that will drive a lot of risk when we get to the point that AI systems and robots are able to fully replace human soldiers on the ground, fully replace the commanders and strategists.
I do worry about the existential risk of AI. When you're making military drones, you are making Terminators.
last few years, we've seen a lot more AI-controlled drones. What we're already seeing is that as soon as the technologies reliably automate military capabilities, geopolitical competition drives that adoption. I think it's going to be surprisingly soon that we do get AIs controlling surprising amounts of real hard military power.
If I think about somebody again like Putin, what would he do with this type of technology? He would like an army of super intelligent and super loyal soldiers. And if these soldiers don't have any compassion, all the better for him. And if these soldiers don't have any compassion, all the better for him.
Draw an analogy to historical coups. Often a minority of the military launches a coup, is able to prevent chaos or discord. And then in the absence of active opposition, it just seems like, well, they've done it. Historically, you needed at least a decently sized contingent of humans to go along with the coup. That would change as we automate more and more of the military.
The government could potentially use AI and robotics to suppress the population. Like, that is a serious concern.
The most simple way that this happens is just that the head of state just says, yeah, we've got the technology now to make a robot army. I want the army to be loyal to me. That would be highly controversial, or would definitely be against the principles of the Constitution.
The modern battlefield is changing. The war in Ukraine heralded the rise of small drones as cheap but deadly weapons that reshape the way war is fought. And now, with the advent of AI, weapons that think for themselves are emerging, alongside tools that enable warfighters to make decisions faster than ever. But how long will humans be in control? And can we allow autonomous weapons to decide when or how to take a life? We were invited to the Moroccan desert to witness African Lion 2026, the U.S. military's largest war games in Africa. To see how the Army is modernizing and adopting more and more autonomous systems in their weaponry. Alongside them, weapons manufacturers such as Palantir and Anduril showcase their technology and get feedback from soldiers. One of the priorities for these new autonomous systems is to speed up decision-making. It's called the kill chain, the time it takes to find a target and to strike a target on the battlefield. In traditional warfare, it can take hours, even days. But in modern warfare shaped by automation and AI, it can take just minutes, sometimes mere seconds. So is it still the warfighter who's making those critical decisions, or is it an algorithm now?
It is not an algorithm. There will be a warfighter at the end of that every single time. No, we can never delegate the responsibility of the decisions over to a computer. But I would never be comfortable delegating the decision that I hold as an officer down to a system.
One of the companies is Seattle startup Overland AI, which made this. An all-terrain vehicle that drives itself, mounted with weapons and sensors.
We would send this out, and as we would retrograde some of our friendly forces behind them, this would be able to provide them with a little bit of cover. Another system that we're also going to be utilizing can deploy anti-tank mines. So the idea is that you can sort of shape the terrain to your advantage, allow deny the enemy to be able to maneuver where they would want as you retrograde your forces.
So all of these things traditionally would involve actual troops putting their lives in harm's way.
Exactly.
And now you don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that.
What happens when artificial intelligence is integrated into U.S. military operations? And are humans still in control on the battlefield?
Our Valerie Myers takes us inside the facilities of some of our coverage area's most prominent defense vendors and manufacturers to uncover the developments being made in the new military landscape emerging in part one of the AI arsenal, Machines at War.
While this robotic dog looks futuristic, it's being trained and deployed right here in Western Pennsylvania. And it's just one of the many military advancements using artificial intelligence in our coverage area.
Military equips it with weapons, so if there's a hostage situation or just needs to go in and take out a bad guy, you're not putting a human at risk.
And that's the goal with these devices, to put machines into mission-critical situations to limit human casualties. I spoke with multiple vendors to defense contractors and defense manufacturers in our coverage area to get to the bottom of how both autonomous and human-controlled AI is being implemented in the U.S. military currently, the solutions AI offers, and the ethical implications that come with it.
We've been doing AI for decades for our clients. So one area that is really big for us right now is adversarial AI. So that is pretty much making sure that our adversaries can't trick or fool our AI algorithm.
Some of those defenses across companies I spoke with include constant testing of algorithms and continuous research to ensure all safeguards are in effect to identify threats, even when they're disguised.
And we use the Zoom.
Autonomous AI, or AI that is self-sufficient and independent, is actively deployed in our military.
It's saving lives, because everything with them now is autonomous and hidden autonomous. So think of the drone technologies, think of all the drone, hits and things like that are happening.
The robotic dog you saw can also operate autonomously, as you see it here, reacting all on its own to my movements. And on the cybersecurity side of defense, other types of autonomous AI are at work.
So from a cybersecurity perspective, you have our adversaries that put malware or Trojans into different systems. So then our system has to detect that and then react real time.
However, all companies I spoke with agree a human in the loop is still necessary.
AI is not the fix and solution. It increases and enhances capability for the humans that we still pay.
We say you treat it like an intern, basically. You don't just trust what it says because there are certain inputs that are put into it that give it certain biases. So there has to be that human level of safeguard, no matter what level you're using it, that are put into it that give it certain biases. So there has to be that human level of safeguard, no matter what level you're using it at.
But in the future, the role of a human could become even more limited.
So as of now, I'd say you need that human interaction, just as precautions, but it's going fully autonomous real soon.
As apartments across Atlanta deal with break-ins, some properties are taking the initiative, on four legs. ANF reporter Joshua Skinner is at Columbia Crest Apartments in Southwest Atlanta, who had a string of car break-ins stopped by a team of robots.
Car break-ins in Atlanta are not unusual, but how this one ended at Columbia Crest Apartments is, when thieves went looking for an easy score on Thursday, May 21st. But what they didn't count on was a security guard with four legs.
There's an affordable housing crisis here in Atlanta, and there are a good number of properties that have low occupancy just because they're not safe.
That's the idea behind Undaunted, the robotic security company that has found itself on more than 36 commercial and residential properties in a little more than a year.
There isn't a technology system out there that can do what we did.
What the robots did was notice these thieves breaking into the Columbia Crest parking garage and into cars. One robot followed the fleeing thieves, the other met with police, who arrived in just a couple of minutes after Undaunted alerted them.
We're the mission control from Undaunted.
One thief was caught on the run, the other led by robots to this trash compactor area.
Which is a good place to hide, I guess.
Columbia Crest is an affordable housing community and wants as much security as they can muster.
Are you happy with the robots?
I love it. Some residents even witnessed last Thursday's arrests.
He got him. Made him stand still. I'm like, what the hell is this?
The robot is not a catch-all, but it fills what some properties are finding as a growing need.
They can go behind the bushes and in the areas that generally our monitoring patrols don't go to.
So while watching where you park might still be a thing, it's now becoming more of a thing for those with less than good intentions.
When we do this and we have a moment like this, I blast Ghostbusters and then scream, "Who are you gonna call? Call Undaunted."
In Southwest Atlanta, Joshua Skinner. Atlanta
Does it sound like a good idea to mount guns or flamethrowers onto AI-controlled robots? It's not a joke. It's a serious question being considered right now by lawmakers in Albany. Tonight, the I-Team tracks a bill that would ban weaponizing autonomous robots. It might sound like common sense, but as News Force Chris Glorioso reports, the bill is stalled in the state house.
Earlier this year, Chinese state media made this video public. It shows military-grade robot dogs with automatic weapons on their backs. It also shows an armed drone hovering as it opens fire. Closer to home, An Ohio company is now advertising this flame-throwing robot available for purchase at near $9,000. The manufacturer says the flame-throwing dog could help with wildfire control, agriculture management, or snow and ice removal. Still, images like these raise the very real question.
Weaponizing robots, where are the limits?
Should robots with guns or flamethrowers be allowed on America's civilian streets?
I think it's terrifying.
Robots with guns, I think that's way too far.
Nothing good can come of it.
To lots of folks, prohibiting remote control or automated machines from carrying firearms or flamethrowers sounds like common sense. But it turns out there is no rush to ban gun-toting robots in New York's legislature.
Yes.
This bill would prohibit most robots and drones from being mounted with things like guns and flamethrowers. Assemblymember Clyde Vanell sponsored the bill and says that is a no-brainer.
This is crazy. This has to be against the law. And I looked within our state and I saw that it is not.